Imagine being surrounded by darkness so complete that you couldn't see what was standing 10 feet away. For ancient humans, nighttime meant something very different from what it means to us. Today, darkness is usually just an inconvenience. Back then, it could be a survival problem. And their main defense against that darkness was a surprisingly small thing: fire. But fire didn't destroy the darkness. It only pushed it back a little. And anything moving beyond that circle of light became a question. Our eyes simply aren't very good at seeing in extremely low light. A rock could look like an animal. A branch could look like a person. When you can't identify something, your brain has to make a guess. And the human brain is extremely good at looking for possible threats. And when vision failed, hearing became much more important. A single snapping twig could suddenly become the most important sound in the world. Sometimes the danger was real. Sometimes the brain simply filled in the blanks. Evolution didn't need humans to be perfectly accurate. It needed them to be cautious. If you're wrong about a harmless shadow, you lose nothing. If you're wrong about a predator, you could lose everything. And this may be one reason humans became so comfortable gathering together. While some people slept, someone could remain alert. Because sleeping meant temporarily giving up your ability to watch and listen. So keeping the fire alive was incredibly important. Fire wasn't just warmth. It was light, comfort, and a warning to some predators. For some animals, a bright fire could make approaching humans much less attractive. And a cave could give people a physical barrier between themselves and the outside world. And shadows could make ordinary things look enormous. Once the light exposed the truth, the monster suddenly became a stick. False alarms were probably part of the deal too. But sometimes those warning signals were completely justified. The brain was constantly scanning for clues that something might be wrong. When danger seemed possible, the body had to react quickly. And when one person noticed something, everyone nearby could react. Darkness made cooperation especially valuable. People could teach each other which sounds, tracks, and places were dangerous. Knowledge turned fear into something more manageable. And eventually, humans began to understand that the night wasn't completely random. The moon could provide enough light to change what humans could see. And different moon phases meant different levels of nighttime visibility. Humans could use repeated patterns in the sky and landscape to navigate. The night slowly became something humans could read instead of simply fear. Fast forward thousands of years, and humans changed their environment dramatically. But the basic human brain didn't suddenly get replaced. That's why a dark hallway can still make your imagination work overtime. A coat can suddenly look suspiciously like a person. Then you turn on the light. And suddenly, the terrifying creature is just a coat. Your brain can still react to uncertainty before you know what's actually there. It's an ancient alarm system operating in a modern world. Fortunately, modern life gives us something ancient humans didn't have: control over the darkness. Electricity lets us turn night into something almost completely different. Our ancestors lived with darkness every night. We can almost switch it off. Yet that old feeling of uneasiness can still appear. The environment changed much faster than our basic survival instincts did. Fire didn't just protect humans physically. It also created a place to gather. And nighttime gatherings gave humans time to share stories and information. Those stories could contain survival information worth remembering. Even cave art shows us that ancient humans were deeply interested in the world around them. Understanding animals during the day could make their nighttime signs easier to interpret. The better humans became at recognizing sounds, the less mysterious the darkness became. Experience taught humans that not every movement meant danger, and experience could turn confusing signals into recognizable patterns. Each generation could pass useful lessons to the next. Sometimes survival meant knowing what not to investigate. You didn't always need to defeat danger. Sometimes avoiding it was enough. Knowledge could transform fear into confidence. Humans didn't eliminate the night. We learned how to live with it. Today, most of us rarely experience truly natural darkness. Cities have turned night into something humans can illuminate almost everywhere. But step away from those lights, and that ancient feeling can return quickly. A flashlight works surprisingly like a tiny modern campfire. It lets us create a small zone of certainty inside a huge zone of uncertainty. And uncertainty is exactly what the human brain dislikes. When your brain can't answer, what is that? It starts generating possibilities. And imagination can be much scarier than reality. Light removes uncertainty, and suddenly the mystery disappears. Ancient humans feared the bush. Modern humans fear the coat. The object changed. The basic reaction didn't completely disappear. Those reactions existed because noticing danger early could be useful. One person's warning could protect everyone nearby. Together, humans could create a much safer environment than one person alone. Alone, every sound and shadow mattered much more. Together, the same darkness suddenly felt much less threatening. Humans could create little islands of safety inside the darkness. And every lesson made the next night a little easier to understand. Humans adapted not by eliminating darkness, but by learning how to handle it. Human history is partly a story of finding better ways to create light. From tiny fires to electric bulbs, humans kept expanding the circle of light. Today, entire cities can glow through the night. But natural darkness can still feel surprisingly powerful. And once we stop fighting the darkness, it can become fascinating. Fear can sometimes be the first step toward curiosity. The more humans understood their environment, the less mysterious it became. And somewhere inside your modern brain is a tiny echo of that ancient night watchman. He isn't gone. He's just living in a very different world. That's why even a harmless dark hallway can trigger that old feeling. Your brain wants certainty. And light gives it exactly that. Different worlds. Different threats. Surprisingly similar reactions. The same basic survival system can react to both. But humans kept learning, adapting, and creating better ways to stay safe. Darkness was once something humans had to survive. Today, we have lights everywhere, but our brains still remember the dark. So the next time darkness makes you uneasy, remember, part of your brain may still be sitting beside that ancient fire.